Justin, Mr. Santos, let's give him a big hand. We have been on top of this since I first came in 4 years ago. And I really want to personally thank him because what he's doing on the rest of the staff and management of agriculture under the leadership of Matt Sablon, what they're doing is they're beautifying our parks. And I hope that I live long enough to see at least 10 feet of the trees that they're planting. And to those students from Simon Sanchez, thank you for getting involved because this is really about you. This is about the future. So again, on behalf of the Department of Parks, Dunklin Asidus Masi to each and every one of you that is involved in tree planting island-wide, and I think most of it are at our parks area. So again, Dunklin Asidus Masi, and happy Arbor Day to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your words of encouragement and appreciation. I'd like to recognize, I forgot, Agriculture Development Service over there. We have some, sorry, Gerald. And then Wildlife just came in with their mascot, so that's always a good sight to see. Simon Sanchez students, Shark Mate, thank you all for coming. And then we also have Ms. Jody Sablon from Wadiga Elementary just appeared. You guys, there's some seats up here. Come on in. Our next speaker will be representing the mayor of Dedido, Mr. Frank.
Leave one, I forgot. Kids help us enter. Fuck.
Happy day, good morning. Welcome to Dedido. First of all, we'd like to say happy Arbor Day. Thank you, Simon Sanchez, being here today. Wadiga Elementary, on behalf of the mayor and I and our staff and the community of Dedido, I would thank you, the Department of Agriculture, Director Matt Sablon, Deputy Director, and our Chief Mockness, and everyone that falls under the Chief, and everyone that are here from the Department of Agriculture. We'd like to thank you guys for being here to beautify our park. And we'd like to thank you, the administration, for giving them all the support, not only here in Dedido, but around the island. Don't close this Masi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Is there anybody else I forgot to bring up? Oh, our Deputy Director, Mr. Jesse Palican. He's back there talking to the SEALs. Okay. Next will be my director, guys who's always supported us throughout everything, helped us get employees, helped us set up all this stuff and get this proclamation signing on board. Director Matt Sablon.
Thank you, Justin. If you see the lineup of speakers, we purposely made the Lieutenant Governor last because if he goes first, it's a tough act to follow. He has really good talking points. But anyways, welcome everyone. Thank you on behalf of the Department of Agriculture. To our partners, both federal and government, thank you so much. And the Sharks. Can we hear the Sharks? What is your slogan, Sharks?
Viva Sharks!
Go Sharks, go Sharks. By the way, we have in front of me, thank you very much, Mr. and Mrs. Castro. Thank you so much. Yeah, it shows the generations, you know, from generations to come and ready for us to see the future generation. So, I know it was mentioned, Let It Grow. That came from a movie, a song, or Let It Grow? Frozen, right? Okay, so most kidding. Again, we have the elementary students. What school? All right, wedding girls in the house in Dedido.
Wow,
thank you very much.
Wedding girl.
I want to put out a special recognition to the various divisions that support every year annually within the Department of Agriculture. Our ADS, forestry, aquatic, PIF. So thank you so much again for all this you know, it's a us team for the department, regardless whether it's a division function. Just for history, Arbor Day was first celebrated in Guam in 1973 when Public Law 12-23 was passed by then Governor Carlos G. Camacho. And the tree planted at that time was the flame tree. So that's something to think about historically. The wildlands, the fires, they cover more than 6 square miles on our island annually. That's the stats. If you look at it, 3 miles by 3 miles, 6 miles square. And the effect of these fires are either they were set by accident or on purpose, or devastating to our fragile ecosystem. Without trees, we lose habitat. Without trees, we lose the culture of wood carving and food source. Without the trees, the ability to anchor soil and land, resulting on tons of soil from burned areas causing storm runoff into our island, especially with we have typhoons or tropical storms. It really is a negative impact. Without trees, our residential community too is affected. Our farmlands, our loss of green space and urban landscape, which is the Island Beautification Task Force mission too, as far as beautification and landscaping. The clogging of drainage infrastructure. Our oceans are contaminated. Reefs, smothering coral and destroying our habitat for the fish that we eat. This is known as the rich-to-reef effect. What's up there eventually will come down all the negative impacts. So in closing, I want to, today during Arbor Day, the Department of Agriculture, Forestry and Soil Division, along with the Department of Parks and Rec, Dedito's Mayor's Office, various government and federal partners, Wedding Elementary students, Simon Sanchez High School students, Lieutenant Governor's Office, which is very, very instrumental in the Island Beautification Task Force jurisdiction. So thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for your support.
Thank you, everyone, support.
Give yourselves a hand. Again, today we replant and care for our trees and preserving and protecting our natural resources for the generations to come. Thank you, everyone, for your participation and partnership. And remember, what is the theme? Let it grow. Louder. What is the theme?
Let it grow.
Maybe I should have you guys sing that song. Anyways, thank you. And at this time, I would like to call upon somebody who's very instrumental in environment. Like I mentioned, planting trees, plants. But it's really the effect on our landscape. From the environment to walkways to safe jogging path. It's the Island Beautification Task Force, headed by the Honorable Lieutenant Governor Rachel. Sir.
The police is done.
That's fun. Hafaday. Before I do my speech, I'm just going to do the proclamation. Is that okay? All right. Proclamation number 2018-92, proclaiming Tuesday, October 9, 2018, in recognition, celebration, and honor of celebrating Arbor Day on Guam. Let it grow. Whereas Arbor Day was first celebrated in 1872 in Nebraska and is now acknowledged worldwide as a day to focus on the importance of trees on our environment. On Guam, trees have played a significant role in our culture and history. They have been a source of healing, a source of beauty, and an object of respect to our ancestors. Today, they are still among our island treasures, serving as our legacy we leave for future generations. As we celebrate Arbor Day, we are reminded of the critical role trees play preserving our environment. The Guam Department of Agriculture, Forestry, and Soil Resources Division is committed to reforestation. This year's theme is Let It Grow. Events include a number of tree plantings that wrap up with tricks or trees, where volunteers are invited to plant trees while in a costume. This October at the Manel Watershed Plantation in Mauricio,
Forestry will plant approximately 4,000 trees. The division also has plans to reforest 100 acres of southern Guam's landscape within the Manel watershed for the next 3 years. Partners in the efforts to reforestation of 100 acres in southern Guam include the Bureau of Statistics and Plans, Mauriceo's Mayor's Office, Department of Land Management, Guam Soil and Water Conservation District, the Nature Conservancy, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, and various partners. Since 2011, the Calvo-Tenor administration has planted more than 300,000 trees throughout our island, and in the last 30 years, the Department of Agriculture has led efforts in planting hundreds of acres more. It's a milestone we're proud of, but we're just getting started. Together, we can replant and care for our trees, making a world of difference for generations to come. The effort to plant more trees is part of a larger discussion of balancing continued progress while protecting and preserving our island's natural resources. Trees, wherever they are planted and for whatever purpose, whether they bear fruit, provide shade, provide wood or cultural carving, or help anchor soil and prevent runoff into our oceans, remind us that each generation of humanity shares in the bounty, but also has a responsibility of planting new trees. Now, therefore, Eddie Bazacalvo, Imagalahan Guahan, Governor of Guam, by virtue of the authority vested in him by the Organic Act of Guam as amended, has proclaimed October 9, 2018 in recognition, celebration, and honor of Arbor Day. The planting of trees are an expression of our commitment to future generations, and we encourage every Guamanian to celebrate Arbor Day by doing their part of caring and planting trees throughout Guam. In witness whereof, the Governor said, hereby set his hand to cause the great state of Guam to be affixed in the capital city of Agatan on this 9th day of October in the year of our Lord, Anno Domini 2018. Signed, Eddie Bazacalvo, Imagalahan Guahan, countersigned, yours truly, Ray Tenoyer. Thank you.
Wow, you didn't break for a second. Didn't even breathe.
I'd rather just stand. I don't like using podiums. Thanks. Good morning.
Morning.
How are you doing?
Good.
So Simon Sanchez.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, what's the other school? Where'd he go? Okay. So I was a police officer a long time ago, and I used to go to Weddingale, especially to patrol and make sure all you kids are okay. And that was a storm shelter many times. And of course, Simon Sanchez, that's my home village in Jigo. And so I very much know that school and know the needs. We're going to get you a new school, but today is about Arbor Day. I wanted to basically share a few thoughts with you, ladies and gentlemen. When I was a little boy, maybe about the same age as most of you here, my dad once told me, he says, go plant some trees in the ranch. You know, we have a ranch in Miguel. This ranch, they wanted me to plant coconut trees. I said, coconut trees, well, it's going to take a long time. He says, you'll be surprised how fast time goes by. And sure enough, we planted the trees right along the border because we have, borders on the property. So we planted the trees, and sure enough, some 10 years comes by and they're gone. And they're growing, that is. And so we let them grow, and now they're big, very strong trees. But of course, we have the rhino beetle, and you can see the evolution of the rhino beetle over there and the cycle of life, which we'd rather it didn't have here on Guam. But we're working our best to try to mitigate that and get in the way of it. But we have to continue to plant the trees and let it grow. It is true. You see these trees that have been growing here for many, many years? When I was a police officer on patrol in Derrida, I used to go down this road. And that was like when I was assigned to this precinct in Derrida. And we would go down the road, and then in the median, which is the island in the middle, they planted these trees over by Micronesia Mall, leading all the way up. But many of them have died because of traffic accidents, or maybe they didn't have enough water or enough soil. But a lot of them are growing now. And so I'm very glad to see that. But the message here, boys and girls, is do something positive. Sometimes things don't always work out the way you want. Sometimes a tree will grow, sometimes it'll be attacked by, a infestation like the rhino beetle. And it's good to have, of course, the media here. It's really, really interesting because the media covers negative things more than they cover positive. But this is a very positive thing. And it's good for you to pay attention and to do these things. And this is why. Because you make something grow, you feel like part of something positive. You're making something good happen. You're always going to find people who are going to say, hey, I planted a tree, but it died. Well, that's part of life sometimes. Sometimes bad things happen, but you have to try. Don't be afraid to try. Try to do the good things that you know you should be doing. And even though people will criticize and people will find something wrong with it, always try with good intent. Try to do good things. Because when you do good things, you might find someone who might disagree with you or doesn't want to help. That's okay. Just be happy yourself that you try to do something good. You planted a tree. 300,000 trees plus we planted. The Department of Agriculture, of course the mayor here, Vice Mayor Frank Beneventi, and our Director of Parks and Recreation, and all these people, Tino Elgin, and so many people at the Department of Agriculture really work hard every single day to make our island great. And my last thought is this. I had a talk with a farmer. His name is Rick Salas. He's a retired police captain way back in the 1980s, 1990s. He was a police officer with me. And now he's a farmer. He likes growing plants and trees. And so he was complaining to me saying, I want to get, seedlings, I guess? The seedlings. When you plant the small trees, right, they start to grow, and then you replant it somewhere else. That's called seedlings. Well, he was complaining to me about it, and you know, I don't run every aspect of what you do, but I've been at the Department of Agriculture many times. And I see the seedlings there, and of course, you grow it, somebody comes and buys it, they take it to the ranch and plant it, then you don't have it anymore, you grow another crop. Well, you're always going to find someone who wants something, who wants either the seedlings or, you know, they want a tree and they want to plant it. That takes time and energy. So I got on the line with my good director, Matt Sablan, and Matt said, and he spoke directly with him, and he said, yeah, we do have, you know, seedlings, but it's about 3-week cycle or something like that, depending on the type of tree. And so when people confront you with a question, find the answer. When people ask you or file a complaint, take it and try to find a solution. When people look at things and criticize you, get the facts, know the reality. Work with the people that are subject matter experts. Make sure you know what to do with your green waste when you cut your tree and you cut the leaf and you don't put it in your property because it becomes a nesting ground for the rhino beetle. Make sure you do the right things, because doing the right things, planting a tree, letting it grow, taking the criticism, accepting good and bad in life is part of the real world we live in. So just accept it. Don't be afraid of it. Be strong, be smart, but always try. That's the lesson I have for you today. Let it grow, try to make it grow, do the best you can, and years later you're going to look back at that tree and say, I planted that. Now look at it. It's got flowers, or it's got fruit, or it's got shade, it's got something that's made our island a better place. All right? So have a great day. Jesus Masri, maraming salamat po, Liso Chabut, and so long. Thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor Ray Tenorio. I'd like to grab something out of there. He said, just try. There's a lot of people that like to talk about planting. Oh, I want to do this and I want to do that. And I always hear it all the time. But if you never start, if you never come out and plant a tree, then nothing will ever happen. It'll just be words that just in the air.
Okay,
so today we're going to
try.
try.
Comment about this video.
Even if
Tell
something
me if you
happens
like it.
to
Contact
eight of these trees, we're planting 9, and one survives. That's one more tree than there was yesterday.
Subscribe.
Okay, we're going to be planting 4
down
dowel
below.
trees across the street.
Smash that
That's
like button if you like this
we're
video.
mitigating for the